"Take that silly jacket off, kid," one biker shouted. But the laughter died instantly when they noticed the tiny patch on her shoulder, and every man in the bar went silent. The teenage girl froze in the doorway, her boots still wet from the rain outside. She couldn't have been more than 16, small, quiet, hair tied in a loose braid. The leather jacket she wore looked too big for her, like it belonged to someone else. The bikers inside Rusty Bear Bar didn't like surprises, especially not ones that walked in looking like lost kids. Razor snorted from his seat. "What's this, Halloween?" Another laughed. "She steal that from her boyfriend?" The girl didn't respond. She just lowered her eyes and walked toward the counter, her hands trembling slightly. The bartender leaned in. "Sweetheart, you shouldn't be here. This is no place for—" Then he saw it. The small triangle-shaped patch on her left shoulder. Black and silver. Simple but unmistakable. His face changed instantly. Oh hell. Razor noticed him freeze. "What's your problem, old man? She a celebrity or something?" The bartender didn't answer. He just stepped back, eyes wide. "Girl, who gave you that jacket?" She swallowed. "My father." Before anyone could ask more, Stone, the largest biker in the room, stood up slowly. His boots thudded against the wooden floor as he walked toward her. He towered over her, shadows swallowing the space around them. "Kid," he growled, "turn around." She hesitated, then turned. The room went dead silent. Even the music stopped. On the back of her jacket was a symbol that made every biker there straighten like soldiers hearing a war drum. The legendary Iron Wings patch. A patch worn by only 4 people in the entire country. Men who'd survived wars, betrayals, fires, men whose stories were whispered like ghost tales. Men no one dared cross. Razor nearly dropped his drink. That's Iron Will's patch." Stone swallowed hard. "Kid, is your father?" The girl nodded softly, voice breaking. "His name was William Iron Will Carter, and he's gone." Not a breath moved. Every biker in the bar had heard the stories. Iron Will, the man who saved entire clubs, fought entire gangs, and vanished after one final ride. Half legend, half ghost. Stone's tough face softened. "Sweetheart, what are you doing here?" She blinked back tears. "I got a letter this morning. Dad said, if anything ever happened to him, I should come find the Iron Brothers." She pulled out a crumpled envelope. "Said you'd help me." Stone took the letter with shaking hands while every biker leaned in. Inside was a message scrawled in rough handwriting. "If my daughter ever shows up with this jacket, protect her, no matter what it costs. Will?" Stone's voice cracked for the first time anyone could remember. "Where is he?" The girl's lips trembled. Dad was killed last night." Gasps echoed around the bar. Her hands shook as she reached into her pocket and pulled out a small metal badge. Dented, bloody, unmistakable. "They came for him. They're coming for me next." Razor stood up so fast his chair flew back. "Who?" The girl looked up, fear and fire in her eyes. "The Dead Wolves." Every biker stiffened. Stone clenched his teeth. Razor's fists tightened. The Dead Wolves were the only gang crazy enough, stupid enough, to kill Iron Will. Stone knelt in front of her, lowering his voice. "Listen to me. You walked in here alone, scared, wearing the only patch men don't dare touch." He placed a protective hand on her jacket. "And you're asking for help." She nodded. "Please." Stone rose slowly and turned to the room. "Brothers," he growled. "We ride tonight." Engines roared outside like thunder waking the dead. The teenage girl, Iron Will's daughter, wasn't alone anymore. And the Dead Wolves had no idea they'd just declared war on legends. Stone pushed open the bar doors, and the cold night wind rushed in, carrying the rumble of engines already warming up. The whole club moved as one, leather vests swinging, boots thudding like a marching army. But Stone stayed back a moment, turning to the girl who stood frozen by the counter, hugging her father's oversized jacket. "Kid," he said softly, "what's your name?" She swallowed. "Ava." Stone nodded once, like the name meant more to him than she could ever know. "Ava, from this second on, you don't walk alone." Razor jogged up beside her, his usual smirk gone. "You ride with me," he said gently. "Front seat. You ever been on a bike?" Ava shook her head. "Dad never let me. He said it wasn't safe for me." Razor grinned faintly. "Funny. Tonight, it's the safest place in the world." He handed her a helmet, black, scratched, clearly his favorite, and helped her buckle it. She tried to hide the tears in her eyes, but Stone saw. He always saw. Listen, Stone said quietly, bending down to meet her eyes. Your father was more than a legend. He was a brother, a protector, a man who rode into hell if it meant someone else got to walk out. Ava's voice cracked. He didn't walk out last night. Stone's jaw tightened. Then we finished what he started. The roar of the engines outside shook the windows. Razor led Ava out, the bikers parting like she was royalty, not out of pity, but respect. Iron Will's blood flowed in her veins, and that meant something. Something sacred. As she climbed onto Razor's bike, she caught her reflection in the side mirror, small, scared, but wearing a jacket that once belonged to a giant. The Iron Wings patch glowed under the streetlights. Stone mounted his bike at the front of the pack. Rain began to fall, light at first, then heavier, like the sky itself knew what was coming. All right, brothers. Stone shouted over the engines. The dead wolves broke the code. They spilled blood that kept every club safe. Tonight, we make damn sure they regret it. The bikers roared in agreement. Razor leaned close to Ava. Hold on tight. Ava whispered, I'm scared. Razor smiled gently. You're Iron Will's kid. You've got more fight in you than all of us. The moment the words left his mouth, Stone revved his engine. RRROARRR. And the entire street lit up as 20 bikes surged forward like a thunderstorm on wheels. They cut through the night like a pack of wolves hunting their prey. Headlights slicing through the darkness. Rain whipping their faces. Ava clung to Razor, her heart pounding, not from fear, but from something she'd never felt before. Belonging. Stone led them down the highway until they reached a gravel road. And there, in the middle of nowhere, flickered a single light, the dead wolf's hideout. Ava's breath hitched. That's where they took him. Razor slowed beside her ear. Then that's where we take them. Stone held up a hand, and all engines went silent. The sudden quiet made Ava's pulse thunder in her ears. Tonight, Stone said in a low growl, we honor Iron Will. He looked at the girl wearing the patch, the symbol of a man no enemy ever defeated. And tonight, he added, the dead wolves learn why legends never die. Ava stepped forward, heart shaking but burning. I want to be there, she whispered. I want to see them held accountable. Stone nodded. Then stand behind me. He cracked his knuckles, a sound that echoed like gunfire. Let's finish this. Engines clicked softly as they cooled in the rain, steam rising like ghosts around the bikers. The dead wolves' hideout stood ahead, a rundown warehouse surrounded by rusted cars and broken lights. Every biker felt the tension in the air, but no one said a word. Ava stepped off Razor's bike, her legs trembling, but she stood tall. The oversized jacket hung off her shoulders, the Iron Wings patch glowing under the dim floodlights. Stone watched her for a long second, then nodded. You walk like him, he murmured. Strong, even when you're breaking inside. Ava swallowed. I'm not strong. I'm just angry. Stone's expression hardened. Good. Anger can break things. But courage. He placed a heavy hand on her shoulder. Courage fixes what anger destroys. Before she could answer, the warehouse door creaked open. A man stepped out, tall, scarred, and smiling like he'd been waiting for this moment. His jacket carried the snarling wolf emblem. Well, look who came to play, he taunted. Thought Iron Will's brat would be hiding under a bed somewhere. Razor lunged forward, but Stone stopped him with one raised hand. Stay behind me, he warned. Ava's chest burned, her fingers curling into fists. Why did you kill my dad? She demanded, surprising even herself with the strength in her voice. The man grinned. Because your father forgot something, legends fade. But fear stays. Stone stepped forward, eyes dark. Funny thing, he said quietly. We don't fear dead men. We avenge them. More dead wolves appeared from behind cars, climbing out of windows, stepping from the shadows. A dozen, then 20, then more. The angels tightened formation around Ava instinctively. Razor whispered, Boss, looks like half the damn wolf pack showed up. Stone didn't flinch. Then it'll be a fair fight. Ava looked from biker to biker, her heart pounding. They weren't just men anymore. They were shields, standing between her and the monsters who took her father. The scarred wolf leader cracked his knuckles. Too late to beg for mercy, sweetheart. Ava stepped out from behind Stone before he could stop her. Her voice shook, but her words didn't. I'm not here to beg. She pointed at him, eyes blazing. I'm here to end what you started. A silence fell, shocked, heavy, powerful. Stone stared at her like he was seeing Iron Will reborn. Razor whispered, "Holy hell, the kid's got fire." The wolf leader laughed, but there was uncertainty now. "You think wearing his jacket makes you tough?" Ava took a step closer. "No," she said softly, "but standing with the men he trusted does." In one motion, Stone lifted his hand, a signal the angels knew by instinct. 20 helmets locked into place. 20 engines roared back to life. 20 men prepared for war. The wolf leader spat on the ground. "Fine then. Let's settle this the old way." Stone cracked his neck. "Gladly." And before the first punch was thrown, Ava whispered into the wind, "For you, Dad." The two armies collided, metal, fists, and fury, and the night exploded with the sound of a legend being avenged. The fight hit the ground like a bomb. Metal clashed. Boots thudded. Bodies slammed into the mud-soaked dirt as rain poured down harder, turning the night into a battlefield lit only by the warehouse lights and the fury inside every man there. Ava stood frozen for a second, watching Stone grab two wolves by the collars and throw them aside like broken chairs, Razor swinging his chain with brutal precision, Diesel tackling a man twice his size. It was chaos, violent, loud, unforgiving. But then Ava saw him, the scarred leader who killed her father, slipping toward the back of the warehouse, avoiding the fight entirely. Coward. Her breath caught. Her fists clenched. And then she ran. "Ava, wait!" Razor shouted. But she was already sprinting into the dark. She slipped through a side door into the warehouse. The smell of gasoline, oil, and dust hit her hard. The room echoed with distant punches and engines revving outside. Her heart pounded so loud it drowned everything else. And then she saw him, standing by a table, loading a gun. The wolf leader smirked when he saw her. "Well, look at that," he said. "Iron Will's kid wants to die like her daddy." Ava's hands trembled, but her voice didn't. "You didn't kill my father in a fair fight," she said. "You ambushed him." He shrugged. "Fair fights are for fools." She took a shaky step back, but didn't run. "I'm not afraid of you." He laughed. "You should be." He lifted the gun, but before he could aim, bang, the warehouse door burst open. Stone, Razor, Diesel, and 5 more angels stormed in like a thunderstorm with boots. Stone pointed at the leader. "Drop it." The wolf smirked. "Or what? You kill me, you go to prison." Stone stepped closer, his voice low and deadly. "I don't need to kill you." He jerked his chin behind him. "She does." The wolf laughed. "The girl? She doesn't have the guts." Ava stepped forward, shaking, soaked, terrified, but she didn't back down. "She doesn't need guts," she said softly. "She has truth." And with trembling hands, she pulled something from her jacket pocket. Her father's badge, dented, bloody, the proof of what the wolves had done. She threw it at the man's feet. "That's the last thing my dad touched before you murdered him." The wolf's face twitched. He wasn't smiling now. Stone nodded at Ava. "Say the words," he said quietly. "This is your justice." Ava swallowed hard. Her voice came out soft, but sharp enough to cut the room in half. "Stone, take him in." The wolf blinked. "Take me? What?" Stone smirked. "You messed with the wrong family, boy." 2 angels grabbed the wolf leader, wrestling him to the ground as he shouted. Ava walked up to him, tears mixed with rain. "My father died scared and alone. I won't let you live without consequences." The wolf roared. "You can't touch me. You're just a girl." Ava crouched beside him. "I'm Iron Will's daughter," she whispered. "And tonight, you finally learn what that means." Police sirens wailed in the distance, growing closer. Razor grinned. "We sent them your confession audio. Genius. Took you long enough to brag." The wolf leader went pale. The fight outside stopped. The wolves fled into the night as blue and red lights washed over the warehouse. Stone placed a hand on Ava's shoulder, pride shining through the ring. "You did it," he said. "You didn't choose revenge. You chose justice." Ava wiped her tears. "No," she said softly. "Dad did. He raised me to be better." And as the wolf leader was dragged away in handcuffs, Stone whispered to Razor, "She's more Iron Will than we ever were." The girl who walked in wearing a jacket too big for her now stood tall enough to cast a shadow her father would have been proud of. If this story touched your heart, share it. Because kindness doesn't always wear a smile, and heroes don't always wear uniforms. Sometimes, they walk in covered in dust, carrying stories that could change your heart forever.